Welcome to the new year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too. All right, so he pretty much explained what Deal in the Dud of the month is. What I want to add to that real quick before we dive into this, I'm going to bring up Eliot. So basically, yes, Deal of the Dud of the month. We like to showcase our members' deals. We like to show the good, the bad, and those what the heck moments or what were we thinking that happens to every single one of us in real estate at some point in our career. So what I will also say is getting up here has several benefits. Okay, I'm going to dive into a couple of those real quick. The simple fact that it gets you noticed, right? There is money in this room. There are deals in this room. Everything that you need is in this room. As Chad mentioned, we have a business directory. Everything that you need to succeed in real estate investing is in this room. Get up here, get noticed, and at the end of the day, we're all here to learn from everyone's experiences, right? This is all of a community. We're all here to grow and learn. So being up here, sharing your story helps all of us. In addition to that, you guys get a nice little $25 Home Depot gift card, right? And then if you want to share a quick summary of your deal, you get another $25 gift card to Home Depot. We use this summary to add to the articles in our newsletter, all right? So how many first-time guests do we have? All right, welcome. It's a good crowd. Yes, so without further ado, Eliot, I'm going to bring you up here if you're ready. All right, so Eliot, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the deal and...
That's it.
Okay.
I don't know what that house is.
Okay.
Maybe Rob's first.
Over here. Well, yeah, I was gonna do you first.
That's fine.
That's fine. Rob, looks like you're coming up now. Hey guys, it's my first day, so guess what? I get a freebie here. All kidding aside, I'm serious. Alright, so I was gonna do a deal first, but this one is even better because it's like a deal and a dud all in one, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Rob explain this one. So go ahead.
I brought some notes. This was actually about a year and 3 months ago I sold this, so I wanted to bring some notes to get it fresh in my brain, like what we did here. Because this one, I do a lot of deals, but if I get up here to do a deal of the month or a dud of the month, I want to do something that's a little more interesting and creative, or something to entertain you. So this one is kind of entertaining, I thought. So, I'd say 6-7 years ago, I kind of decided I don't necessarily, I like buying and fixing houses. I like making money off houses. I don't necessarily like doing big giant rehabs of houses. So you can knock yourself out, man. Go ahead. But so I decided that anything over about 30,000-ish in rehab, if it's going to take more than that, I am going to what I would call a wholesale that. Basically kind of wholesale it, but I actually buy the property, do some things to it, and then sell it to somebody else that wants to spend a giant rehab on it. And then that's what I did here, and I do a bunch of that now. So this house is Sanford, Florida. It's near the Sanford Airport. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's and basically what this actually came in the 4th of July, 2023. This lead came in. I do a lot of online marketing. Somebody called on the 4th of July. I don't know what, I guess somebody just on their phone board looking for an investor. And so he contacted, immediately jumped on it, and got it on July 5th, the next day, got a contract signed on this house for $160,000. It's a 1950s type of house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, garage, flat roof, that type of thing. This is about the nastiest hoarder house I ever seen. And 2 sheds in the backyard, which they're not in the pictures now, but that pad that's there's a big, giant, nasty building on it that made of wood frame. There's 2 big ones in back there full of stuff, up to the ceiling with stuff. The whole house, up to the ceiling with things, but people were living in it. They had like 4 or 5 dogs in the house, like 8 cats in the house. So the litter box was the whole house. So it's gracious.
Anything else?
It was, and there's people living in it too. So the lady owned it. she had, it was kind of a probate deal. She had inherited it from, I don't know the whole story, but apparently some type of drama. But somehow she inherited it from a person that she wasn't related to, or I don't know, boyfriend or something like that. But anyway, signed a contract for 160. It probably worth, I think it had around 320 is about what I thought it was worth, and it needed all this work to it. And on July 9th, I put it under contract. July 5th, July 9th, I get an email from this person saying, I want to back out of the deal. I canceled it. And well, I'm saying I put under contract for 160, and she was asking 200 for it. I'm like, no, that's not, the number's not going to work for me. Got it 160, and then she emails me. She's probably finding another buyer, shopping around. Got somebody to make her a better deal. And I just, she sent me the email. I just ignored the email. Didn't even respond. I'd already set it up the title company, get it closed. Okay. 3 days later from that, I get the title company. I guess they're trying to get a payoff, or they're doing whatever. The title company's doing what title companies do. And my title lady, she says, "Oh, some attorney called and they are mad and they said that you are bothering the seller. How dare you contact us, blah, blah, blah. We're getting out of the deal and we don't want to get involved with some attorney, whatever." And lo and behold, and then I get a certified letter from some attorney that I don't know from anybody. But it was kind of interesting. So it kind of starts some drama here. And the attorney basically, I went and found a letter because they sent it to me certified, and I'm not going to tell. The attorney did a lot of interesting things. But basically, they sent me this letter here. I cut off the name off the top, so I don't want to throw them completely under the bus. But basically, just saying, we dispute the validity and enforceability of this document. It is void based on duress, lack of capacity, fraudulent, blah 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 blah, whatever. The lady was under tremendous stress, experiencing degree of cognitive deficit, diminished mental capacity, blah, blah, blah. On and on. Just trying to get out of the contract. Okay? And I was, I wasn't exactly sure what to do, but, I deal, I'm a real estate broker, I deal with attorneys, but one thing I've learned about attorneys, a lot of times they have a degree, and they think that's just a license to bully you. That's straight up, there's good attorneys, bad attorneys. A lot of attorneys are straight up bullies. And so it didn't intimidate me because, I get these letters way too often anymore. They're just so litigious. But what I've learned is you need to know who you're dealing with in these transactions. So do a little research. Look up, who is this attorney? Okay, and then I figured out this lady was a probate attorney. And they're like, oh, she did the probate for this. That's how the connection is. And this lady, she's also, it says on her website, she's a college professor at UCF, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so this person, they're not a real estate attorney, they're a probate attorney. So, and I knew that my seller didn't have any money. So, so that, I know they're not going to file some lawsuit or whatever against me. So, and I was going to send like a, how dare you type of response to him, and I thought it again, and I'm like, no. And so then I waited a day or so, I called the attorney, couldn't get a hold of her, and so I sent her a nice long email back to saying, oh, I'm just looking to buy this property. We had a deal, the contract is valid, it's nothing wrong with the contract, it's perfectly legal. I don't know if this person, I said, you're not a doctor, I'm not a doctor, you can't go diagnosing people for mental things, I can't diagnose them, you can't practice medicine, stuff like that, but pleasantly. And just said, well, what did your seller really want out of this here? And a day later, get an email back and said, oh, the seller is still willing to sell, they just want $195,000 for this. Exactly, that's all this was, it just money, that's all this was, trying to bully me for money. Whatever. And we ultimately kind of went back and forth. With my notes again here. But back and forth, they want $195K, and they wanted me to pay 2 years of back taxes on the property too, which is about $2,700. So they don't have any money. We ended up settling for, I told them we'd net 175, so we settled at 172, plus I paid 2 years of back taxes, so they basically bumped me up $15,000 on the deals. But what it ended up being, we closed August 2023, and tell you what, this attorney sent me a letter. I have this, I thought, I could report this person to the Florida bar and probably get in a lot of trouble. They sent me this letter, saying this seller, diminished capacity, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? The title company emailed this attorney the closing package. That attorney went over there, notarized the seller's signature on the deed. I have the copy that, like, how can you say this person has diminished capacity mentally? And then you went and notarized the deed, a few weeks later? That's, you know, I just send that to the Florida bar. It's going to be bad for you if I wanted to do that, but I didn't do that. It's what the deal.
So as far as the renovations go, what did you actually do?
Well, basically what I did, I paid my contractor to empty 4 dumpsters worth of stuff out of the house in the yard, and the whole kitchen, emptied it out, and I didn't do any of the repairs on there, but that's what it needed. Where it says I gave them $6K basically for a trash out, and about $1K to do some cleanup work for me, and then.
So essentially, right now, just so I can clarify to the group here, so this is basically what the house needed, but it's not everything that you did.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend $70,000. That's not my cup of tea. I don't do that anymore. So you can kind of see the pictures. I wish I had some before pictures, but I couldn't find them. But green bathroom, I had an orange bathroom. I mean, they were living in the house, so it was kind of gross, but they were living in the house. But I'll tell you, at the closing, I found the real reason this attorney, they did a probate. It's a homestead property. I could have had my attorney do the probate for about $4,000. They billed this lady $23,300 to do a probate and send me a couple letters. 23 grand, yeah. Talk about this. Call me saying that I'm taking advantage. Who's taking advantage? 23 grand for a probate? Come on.
So this is basically your end numbers here.
Right. Those are my numbers. Paid 172. Paid some the property taxes. About $4,000 and change for closing costs. I had a money loan that I used to buy it. Spent $7,100 to my contractor to clean that sucker out. We sold it. Sold it on MLS. A realtor actually bought this. A realtor was a contractor of some sort. That's kind of my numbers. I sold for $229, and that was my net at the end of the day. I would have got another like 15ish or so for one for the attorney, but no.
So let me ask you, as far as it being a dud in some sense, or a semi-dud as you called it, what factored it as a dud for you, and what was your biggest takeaway or lesson that you learned from this?
Well, actually, the dud, I emailed you about the dud, but I changed the deal. I was going to do another deal, but I thought this was more fun.
Okay, fair enough.
So this one was, I mean, it could have been better. I mean, I think the main thing, just, you know, they bumped me $15,000 on the price or whatever, and you know, and it was there was about a week of just complete drama, chaos. Is this deal even going to happen or not? You know, what I mean, pull the rug out from underneath.
So before we open it up to a couple of questions, my last question to you is, what is your biggest piece of advice based on this deal that you would give to somebody newer that's investing?
Well, I think just one, I mean, just know who you're dealing with, you know, and so you can research, you know, some of these people, and you know, some of these attorneys, a lot of them, I get letters. I'm a broker. I get letters. Seems like every quarter now they send me some letter, dear Mr. Arnold, blah blah blah, whatever. And most of them, all they want is just either you to do something or they want money out of you. And if you push back at all, a lot of times they just cave and you never hear from them again, type of thing. And so I think just you know, just be friendly, try to work things out as much as you can.
Know who you're dealing with. There's enough information out there on the internet to do a little bit of research before you do any business or have to deal with anybody. How can they contact you? My information's up there, and 407-375-4567. And the rehabber that they ultimately fixed it and flipped it, they sold for $315.
So that was pretty close to my numbers.
Does anybody have any questions about this particular deal? To ask Rob. Don't be shy. I need one.
I was just gonna ask, how long did it take you to do all this?
The question was, how long did it take?
I put under contract in July, closed in August, and it was resold by October. So it took about, I owned it for about 60 days. Yeah, and it just.
It's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, pretty quick turnaround, and so.
Another question?
So you netted 30. Was that after closing costs and hard money costs?
No, 30 is what I paid to the IRS. The IRS.
So the 30 was net of everything?
Yeah.
After all the closing costs.
That's my gain.
Got it. All right, good job.
That's fine.
So I walked in halfway in the middle of your speech. Did you basically just do a light lipstick instead of taking it all the way and sell it to somebody without doing the full rehab that was
just
70?
basically 4 dumpsters worth of stuff out of the house and a little bit of demo work, and I sold it to somebody who actually wanted to do the full rehab on it.
That's an interesting conversation I have with my partners often, is whether to go all the way with it or just do a light rehab. It seems like affordability is something that a lot of the buyers move on faster than even having one fully rehabbed. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, to some degree. Well, I think a lot of the retail type buyers, they don't want to buy something that needs a bunch of work. I don't think it's, especially something where if it's not going to pass a 4-point inspection, you're going to have trouble selling it to any end buyer, which is roof, HVAC, electric, and plumbing.
Who was your end buyer on this property?
It was another investor who fixed it and flipped it.
Yeah, that's what
I
I
sold it to the MLS.
Okay.
All right, if you guys have any questions, more questions for Rob, you got his contact up there. We're gonna have to move on to the next one. If you didn't get your question answered here, please contact Rob or talk to him after the meeting, during the meeting, whenever you can talk to him.
Okay.
Eliot, this one's for real this time. Eliot,
This house I recognize. I'm going to be a lot more able to tell you. So I got a call for this house. I actually got the call as a renovation call. So as a lot of you know, I do renovation work. Someone called me and said, hey, this house is really trashed. Can you look at a Curbio quote? And so I took the Curbio quote. I went over there to compare them. And I called the guy that I'm friendly with, and I said, well, what do they want to net? And he said they want to net 125. I was like, oh, I could have saved a lot of time. 125 for a house in a medium to up neighborhood. The picture on the left there is what it looked like when I first walked it. The grass is probably deeper than it even looks in that photo. It was literally waist high. Unfortunately, the prior occupant had passed away, so everything was exactly how you would expect it. There was a toothpaste on the counter, and everything was there. And it had a normal to probably a lot of contents in it. And the air conditioning had been leaking for months at one point. So all the drywall was cut 4 feet out, most of the rooms, a lot of furniture moved, and the cabinets were destroyed and that kind of stuff.
You had about 110 in estimate.
Yeah, so I estimated 110. I knew that it was the kind of neighborhood that could sell. At the time, I put an ARV of 289 on it, and got to work on getting it going. So we took it over. It was, like I said, it was pretty much the studs. The picture there is the laundry room into the kitchen. I do the opposite of what Rob says, which sometimes I regret. And I did a lot of extra on this one. I put insulation in where there wasn't. Took down a part of a wall to make the kitchen open. A lot of things that normal flippers do, but when you already have a full budget, then obviously everything you open up can be more to your budget. I actually fixed the air conditioner, and then the roofers purely accidentally, put a nail into the copper line that runs the air conditioner on a Friday. So it destroyed the currently fixed air conditioner. So that turned into a replace. Did a full rewire, repipe. Actually, while I'm on this screen, What I wanted to talk about was all the vendors that we have in this organization that help everybody. So on this screen, we've got Greg Chenard with Spectrum Cabinets, Adon with AA Soto Flooring, Jose, who does our reglazing here, and Top Tech Air did my replace on that one because I needed a good vendor that could come out quickly and put a fresh AC in, which they did. All the work here is permitted. I do own a general contracting company, so all this, obviously at this level, you would not be wise to do this much work without permits. So my total turnaround time was about 7 months.
Once again, whatever you need is in this room and this organization. Thank you for sharing that. I have a question for you before we move on. Was there anything unexpected that you ran into on this particular project?
Actually, I underestimated how long it would take to empty just contents. Couches, chairs, like, my guys aren't really movers, we're really, construction guys. So I'm like, oh, I'll just send my guys over, get a dumpster out front, it'll be no big deal. And I think, Rob, I was short one. I think I did 3 dumpsters just of contents before we started cutting drywall. So no big deal, but I did, being that it's not my specific industry, I did kind of went over there one day like, oh, what's taking you guys so long? And I stood there for 5 minutes and I'm like, yeah, it takes a long time to empty all that stuff out. So if you're buying a house that's full of stuff, make sure that you don't have a $50 budget on getting rid of 6 rooms of furniture.
How long did the project take in total?
7 months start to finish. It went under contract in 16 days and sold for a bit more than we started with. So we sold at 303, which was very fortunate. It was a point in real estate where it was going up. Like I said, I pushed my renovations pretty strong as far as what I do to them. And so we got 303. I had budgeted 289, which obviously little things like that help. I bought it for 125. I did end up spending 122 in rehab. A lot of that was the air conditioner. I ended up being almost 10,000 in air conditioning on something that should have been 6 or 7. So there's a little bit of that there. I do use Andrea for my attorney and trust stuff with Commonwealth Land Trust. And then at the end there, we got out at 38,450.
Not too shabby, especially in 7 months. It's a lot of renovation to do in 7 months, especially with permits.
And that picture there is the exact same shot from the exact same spot as before. So that's how much.
You guys remember the before?
Do a little
You
before
want to
and
see it
after.
again? Yeah. It worked. Yes? Yes. I need enthusiasm.
So that's your water heater. That's literally the same. I go around at the end of my projects. I take a camera and a tablet and I walk around and I taught myself to reshoot. I see you post.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
I was gonna say I see you post a lot of your videos from the same angles because it really helps. We're trying to show you things we're doing, so it helps if you're not just always turning around and taking it from a different corner of the room.
Right. So my question again before we have take a couple questions to you is what was your biggest piece of advice based on this renovation to give to the newer members?
This was a very sweet. It was too much renovation for a lot of people to take on, but the home. Where the home was and what it was bought for, it was such a sweet. It's in Sanford. It's in the heart of Sanford. It's a block home. It was bought at the right price. It's a square yard. It's on the middle of a street. It's just a very good, like a way to cut your teeth. It's a house that you're always going to be able to rent. You're always going to be able to sell. There wasn't any anomaly about the home. It wasn't behind railroad tracks or next to a gas station or anything like that. It was just so I knew it was going to be a very good home run in that respect.
Good deal. All right, so does anybody have any questions for Eliot? Give me one. There we go.
Hard money?
No, on this one it was cash, which is an enormous help when it comes to holding cost.
And it's only 6,000. That's
Yeah.
good. For 7 months, that's good.
Yeah, it was, insurance, utilities, odds and ends, but nothing. Obviously, having the hard money off things is an obvious, way to make some profit.
Are you getting a builder's risk policy?
Correct. Yeah, Colleen. Actually, another person in the room is Colleen. Does all my builder risk policies, and they have gone up, just like all home insurance. They're very limited, but what they cover. But they have also gone up, just like all insurance in Florida has gone up. So that was a big part of it.
All right, good job, congratulations.
We have another question that really wants to get asked over there if we can, and then, in the meantime, what's the best way to contact you?
The best way to reach out to me is probably my email, and up there I've got my office line as well. You're welcome to reach out and give me a call, and then it would be great if you check us out at VE Builders on Facebook.
Last question.
Question, very, very good job, by the way. Question, you got it under contract at a really great price. Curious, why wouldn't you just flip the contract, make 10, 15K, put it in your pocket, be done with it? Just curious.
The question of every flipper.
I honestly, I like to, so I run a company, and sometimes I have breaks in the action if we're waiting for permitting and things. So I do use these homes to fill in for my teams. So in some respects, not buying work, but I'm also, I like to take them on. This house was 13 minutes from my house. It wasn't going to be something that was going to be a large management piece for me. It was something I was looking for a flip. I wasn't looking to just turn a profit. I'm looking for something to do. Because of this home, sometimes other clients reach out to me, neighbors. So in general, I'm just out in the world looking for flips.
All right, I'm gonna do, Rob, come back up here. I had another blip as my first day up here. I gotta give the rewards and the gift cards. And we need to do a photo real quick. All right.